Hello viewers and students. Today we will deal with temperature. So what is temperature? Let's start. Temperature can be defined as the degree of hotness or degree of coldness. In another word, it can also be defined as temperature as a measurement of average kinetic energy of molecules in a solid, liquid or gas. Now, how you will define temperature at a molecular level, because temperature is a macroscopic property, and this temperature can be set to be a thermal vibration at molecular level. As you can see in this animation, the molecules are being vibrating at their own places, and this is due to the temperature present and kinetic energy or vibrational energy of the molecules. And the concept of temperature and thermal vibrations associated with crystal solids are based on individual atoms in the system processing vibrational motion. Measurement of temperature is one of the most important aspects of thermodynamics, and temperature can be measured with the help of thermometer. Thermometers are calibrated in various temperature scales that have historically used various reference points for thermometric substances. And the branch of science which deals with the measurement of temperature is called as thermometry. Now, the three most common scale for measurement of temperature are, you can see the Celsius scale, which is formerly called as centigrade scale, Fahrenheit scale, which is normally denoted as degree Fahrenheit, and the most modern and standard international scale, which is Kelvin scale, denoted as K. Starting for Celsius scale, you can see the degree Celsius is a unit of temperature on the Celsius scale, a temperature scale originally known as the centigrade scale, and it was named after the Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius, who developed a similar temperature scale. Before being renamed to honor this Anders Celsius in 1948, the unit was called as a centigrade, and it was taken from the Latin word centum, which itself means 100, because the Celsius or centigrade scale is being divided into 100 equal parts. And the degree Celsius, which the symbol represents as a degree centigrade, can refer to a specific temperature on the Celsius scale, or a unit to indicate a difference between two temperatures. Now, regarding Fahrenheit scale, the Fahrenheit scale is a temperature scale based on one proposed in 1724 by physicist Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. It uses the degree Fahrenheit, which is symbol represent as a degree Fahrenheit, as the unit. Several accounts of how he originally defined his scale exist, but the original paper suggests the lower defining point as 0 degree Fahrenheit was established as a freezing temperature of a solution of a brine made from the mixture of water, ice, and ammonium chloride. So it was the mixture of these three compounds which was mixed, water, ice, and ammonium chloride, and the 0 degree Fahrenheit was represent to the freezing temperature of the solution of brine made from the mixture of water, ice, and ammonium chloride. And the other limit was his best estimate the average human body temperature, which was originally set as 90 degree Fahrenheit. Then it was reset to 96 degree Fahrenheit, about 2.6 degree less than the modern value. And how I noted the middle point of 32 degree Fahrenheit to be set to the temperature of ice water. Now coming to the Kelvin absolute temp, which is called absolute temperature scale. The Kelvin scale is the base unit of temperature in international system of units, which is normally called as SI, and having a symbol of as a K doesn't have any degree attached to it. Important point is that it is named after the Belfast born Glasgow University engineer physicist William Thomson, which is famously called as first Baron Kelvin. Unlike degree Fahrenheit, the degree Celsius, the Kelvin is not referred to or written as a degree, which I've already referred to it. The Kelvin is now defined by fixing the numerical value of Boltzmann constant, which is a very important value, the Boltzmann constant K, which is 1.380649 into the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. That means that is 1 Kelvin for this much of energy is being required to increase the 1 Kelvin. And hence the 1 Kelvin equals to a change in the thermodynamic temperature T that results in a change of thermal energy K into T, which is K multiplied by T, by 1.380649 into 10 power minus 23 joule, which is the same value here. So it is a change in thermodynamic temperature T that results in a change of thermal energy by K times T. So if you multiply the temperature, if you increase 1 degree centigrade temperature, 1 degree 1 Kelvin temperature, then that represents the exchange in the thermodynamic energy by K times T. Why it is called an absolute scale, which is very important. And an absolute scale is a system of measurement that begins at a minimum or a 0 point and progress in only one direction. An absolute scale differs from an arbitrary or relative scale, which is normally the degree centigrade or degree Fahrenheit scale, which is a relative scale, which begins at some point selected by the person and can progress in both directions. An absolute scale begins at a natural minimum, leaving only one direction in which it is to progress. And the Kelvin scale fulfills the Thomson requirement as an absolute thermodynamic temperature scale. It uses absolute zero as its null point, that is, which is the minimum entropy or low entropy point. So why we have a magic number minus 273 1.15 in Kelvin scale, and because Kelvin calculated an absolute zero equivalent to minus 273 on the air thermometers of the time, and the Kelvin value of minus 273 was a negative reciprocal of 0.00366, the accepted expansion coefficient of a gas per degree Celsius relative to the ice point, giving a remarkable consistency to the currently accepted value. So this minus 273 is the reciprocal of thermal expansion coefficient of expansion of gas, which is 0.00366. And if the gas expand at a rate of 0.00366 per degree rise in temperature, but if we move backward, that is below 0 degrees Celsius, then there will be a point where gas ceases to expand. So if the gas expands at this rate, and if you move backward, then there will be a point that gas will cease to expand. And this point is calculated by taking reciprocal of this value, which is equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade. And the Kelvin temperature scale is used by the scientists because they wanted the temperature scale where zero reflects the complete absence of thermal energy. So this is very important for Kelvin scale, because Kelvin scale is that indirectly proportional to the thermal energy of the system. Now another way of calculating minus 273.15 in a Kelvin scale, by plotting a graph between thermal energy on y-axis and temperature on x-axis, and by calculating thermal energy at different temperature, through which we can calculate the slope of the line m, and by knowing the intercept E1, which is the energy of a gas at 0 degrees centigrade. And the very important point to note here is that on 0 degrees centigrade the energy is not zero, so we have an intercept on y-axis. So this is very important. That's why we need Kelvin scale, because the degree centigrade scale or degree Fahrenheit scale does not represent the value of energy, or it is not in directly proportional to the energy of the system. So here we can calculate E1 at 0 degree centigrade, which is the intercept of line, and by knowing the equation of line, E equals to mt plus E1. So we can, if we put the value of in this equation E equals to 0, we can calculate the T, and which in this case will be the zero energy, and we get the temperature T equals to minus 273 degree centigrade. Now again, calculating the absolute zero by plotting volume on y-axis and temperature on x-axis, and again by knowing the equation of line V equals to mt plus V1. V1 is the intercept, which is the volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade, and m, which is the slope of a line, can be calculated by knowing the volume of a gas at different temperatures. So it is very easy to calculate slope, and knowing the temperature at which volume becomes zero. So it is the putting the value V equals to 0 and calculating T, we get minus 273. Again it is an absolute zero, a temperature at which volume equals to 0. In a similar way, we can also do the same for the pressure by knowing the equation of line. In this case, P equals to mt plus P1. P1 is again the intercept of a line on y-axis, which is the pressure of a gas at 0 degree centigrade. And you can see there are different pressure, different gases having different pressure A, B, C. So they all converge at the single point, which is minus 273.15. And you can see it is the pressure, it is the temperature at which P equals 0. So we can calculate the M, we can calculate the P1, putting the value P equals to 0, we can calculate the T, and again we get the minus 273.15 degrees centigrade, which is the absolute 0. So in all the cases, we have seen that by plotting the graph with the help of pressure, temperature, volume, temperature, and thermal energy with respect to temperature, and we get the same value of temperature T, which is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. And at this temperature, pressure equals to 0, volume equals to 0, and thermal energy is equals to 0. And that's why it is called as absolute 0. Thanks, and subscribe. And if you have any question, you can ask and or comment on the comment box. Thank you very much.